Hello, this is Brandino Wolfensteino coming to you. Wait. Haven't done this in so long. It's another Wisdom Wednesdays with your boy. Wait. It's another Wisdom Wednesdays with your boy. Brandino Wolfensteino. Hi. Hi. How you doing? My name is Brandino Wolfensteino, and I'm coming to you live from my bedroom because for some reason the past few weeks my bedroom has just not been letting me come live. Don't take that out of context. So, this week on Wisdom Wednesdays, I actually been thinking about this for a while, and I wanted to maybe put it up. I guess it could be like spoken word, because it's just something I've been thinking about, and however it's going to come out is just going to be how it is. If I pause or whatever, I'm going to cut out the long pauses if it takes too long, but, you know, it's just something I've been thinking about. And what it is the idea that something that we have seen forever, that has been integrated into our lives for so long, I'm starting to wonder, why do we need it? Of course, it is necessary, but is it? So, as I gathered my thoughts and rattled them around in my cranium, I started to think about something in my brain. Something that could sustain the thought that this is actually what's needed. And the seeds have been planted, but even though they're planted, we never see it. I mean, it's kind of difficult to put into words, but it's been here since before we could write down the names of scientific words for... I don't understand why it's so prevalent. It's irrelevant, and frankly, it shouldn't even be reverent. It shouldn't have a relevance, but clearly it definitely has. I mean, it's been part of us since back in the day, in the past. I don't know what you want me to say, because it's kind of upsetting that this is the thing that we strive to get, yet nobody else is getting. Like, it's an inanimate object, and yet it has more power to devour the souls of people who put their life on the line for an hour just to get some piece of paper that says what they're worth, but nobody is willing to actually even put in the work, because the work is just work, and nobody wants to work where they're working, because clearly what they're doing is not what they should be doing. But all of it goes back is just something that dawned on me. Ever since it was like tiny, it's been all about the money. So I started thinking, when did this start? And then I came up with a story, and it poured from my heart, and I said this to myself as I walked around patrolling and trolling, because I clearly didn't know what was doling out of my person or my presence or my being as I stand or walk or shine the light to make sure there's no man or woman on the premises, because that's basically my job, even though clearly I'm capable of doing more things that could make me a snob. But it falls back again to what helps me become me, and that small thing is merely the money. So here's the story. Before you were born, your parents owed a debt, and through your birth they could only place a bet in hopes that maybe you would be able to achieve a goal that they could never reach, because they was always too old. They gave up their dreams too early, and their dreams decided to leave. They packed up their own bags and they went across seas, but your parents stayed here and worked a job that they knew made that thing that would constantly keep them in the loop. It's the money. You were a little kid. You had a skill. It was something born out of you, something that was born from your own idea, because it wasn't your will, because you didn't even have a will yet. I mean, you were still a spit and a throw up away from wetting your bed. So it's like you had something that you could do that could possibly make you great, but you were too small to understand what was at stake, and you did these things and you enjoyed them immensely, but then somebody came along and said something offensive or defensive or compensation is what they're saying. They said, why are you doing this stuff? Why aren't you complaining? Why aren't you getting your worth? Don't you know this is worth something? This is incredible things, and you're doing it for nothing. But you know what? I'll help you out. I'll let you know what you're worth, because you are worth something, and you were worth it from birth. So now I'm gonna give you a chance to do what you love for free. All you have to do is swear your allegiance to me. I'll handle all of the anger, all of the regret, all of the scary people. I'll make sure that everybody respects you and calls you their equal. And I'll make sure that when you grow up big and strong, you'll be in a plethora of my presence, because you are a presence that creates presence for the present. You grew up a little bit. Now you're in middle school. Or maybe you stayed back because you were too much of a fool, but once again you go through life and you thought that you had it covered, but clearly, as your mother said, you don't know what you're talking about, little brother. I don't understand why you think that in a world that's ruled by skin, you think that you could probably make it big, that you could just win. But I'm not gonna tear you down. I'm gonna just let you know what it's all about. You could chase those dreams, or you could do something that's worth the route. I mean, you could sit here and fail in class, but I'm not gonna support no failure. I'm not gonna sit here and strive all day at work just for you to be an airhead. I'm gonna let you do this now, but you better understand quick that you need to get something legit and not something that's a pile of Anyway, you make it to high school. Maybe you go to prom. Hopefully you go with the girl you like, and not the girl of your friend's mom, or some cousin you never knew, or some person you thought you was cool with because they didn't have a prom date either, or maybe they just thought it would be cool to go with you in the sense, but the sense is what didn't make sense, because if you had more sense, the sense would be the incent to actually be something, and that's what you came to do. You came to maybe become prom king or prom queen if you would won, but you didn't. You kept going. You lived the rest of your life. You decided to go to college or the military, all right, but then again, there they came. He's been standing there all along. I wonder who that person is and why I recognize him. Was it a song? Was it a piece of poetry? Where do I know this person from? And then he approached you and you were like, whoa, where are you coming from? And he said, you know what? You were that kid I remember. The kid who had all that talent. Back in the day, I said you probably wouldn't need school, but now I think you couldn't go without it. And if you really want to do good, you might want to go here. I mean, It may cost a lot in the future, but who has a worth to care? I mean, you don't have to worry about it now. Remember, I told you, I got your back. I've had you from the beginning, and I'll have you until the end of that. So just go to this place and maybe earn a little bit more in your craft, because frankly, right now, you're only about maybe a half. But then they came along and said something that wasn't true, because after you graduated, you came to understand that you knew some of the stuff you were taught. So why did you have to take it? Because you already learned it in high school, but yet they're teaching you again as if you never took it. And you're shook with the knowledge that maybe you just wasted your time, but somebody said that this would be better than going out there and committing a crime, because, you know, regardless, you're going to owe them, and you're going to owe him, and you're going to owe yourself for not doing what you are supposed to do to achieve your personal wealth. And then at the last moment of the last day, when you're finally at that point, another thing happens to you, and you learn that something just isn't right. Then she walks in. She's nice. She has a smile that could shine the light. She could make anything bright, even the darkest dark of the darkest dusk, because it's not nighttime yet. That's why you can still see her face. And you wonder if there's something you could do to increase your chances to meet her pace, to run alongside her, and maybe be by her, because for some reason it's calling to you. So you said, I have exactly what I know what I can do. I'll use my talent, because that's what I'm worth, and that's what I've always been told I have, so I might as well use it, right? Alright, I'll do it. I'll do it, and it won't come out bad, because I've spent 4 years of doing this, especially at a higher education level, so clearly I did something right to be able to embezzle some extra type of affection from somebody who I don't even know. But hopefully this present will work. Hopefully it'll work. You gather yourself together and you finally have your stuff. You've been talking to her for a little while, but you know that this is all a bluff. For real, you just want to get it done. You want to be able to know that she is yours. So you're like, here's this present I got, and I hope she will adore it. And then he comes. Wow, that's amazing. See, I told you, I knew you had it. This is something incredible. Worth more than any gadget. I tell you right now, I could tell you next week. This is something that you should be putting on the top of the top of the top of the fleek. I mean, you have to be so incredible to create something this well. I'm sure she will enjoy it. But let me take a second to make sure she knows what's going on. He goes over to her and sits down next to her. She sees that he's suave, fresher than you remember. When you first met him, he was a bum. He was crusty and dirty. But now he has a suit that could probably come off as flirty. Like he has something about him that is just shining from the door, and she sees it, but she doesn't know what she could do because she can barely ignore. And he's like, hey, how you doing? I've got something for you. Something that is so incredible that you would have never knew. And here it is. It's a rock. It's shiny. Don't you like it? And she's like, well, I don't really have a use for it. Could it do something that a knife could? And it doesn't really. But I mean, look at how it sparkles. I mean, this thing could be worth billions. And all you have to do is maybe buy it? I can't afford that. What? That's too much. And it's like, well, that guy over there, he says that he might be in love. If you really want this, as shiny as it is, maybe you can get a kiss and he could buy you this with some kids. So maybe you might like it. Her mind is swayed because before, probably the yesterdays, she was so into something small like a card or a letter. But now the blinding light is shining brighter than an ember. It's sparkling through her eyes and blinding her own vision. And as the guy walks back, he's like, hey man, come listen. I don't think she's gonna like that thing, that stuff that you made. She might not be into it. She seems like she's already paid for something better with her soul. Like her heart's somewhere else. I don't know if that's worth enough to get something that she wouldn't fail. Maybe you can try again. How about this? Show her the gift and see if she likes it. You go and bring her the gift. And she, of course, is kind of ecstatic, but you can tell by her mannerisms that she doesn't really want to have it. She's already known about something better, and she's like, this is good and all, but I like this. And she pulls out that same rock that says that you're mine and I'm his. So she says, if you buy me this, then, you know, maybe we could do something, and maybe we could become somebody that can power through any of them. And I don't know, it's just, this is what it is, and this is what I want, because I know it in my heart, knowing damn well that she was told this by somebody that played a small part. So then you stand back and you think, well, how can I acquire this stuff? I've always been good at this one thing, and this is a diamond in the rough. How am I supposed to be able to get that thing and give her exactly what she wants? Because I never did this before, and clearly she looked like she would rather flaunt something like that instead of something like this. I guess I'm gonna have to change jobs. And the money says, hey, I got you. I got you back from back at but I'll let you know this. Your talent is great, but right now, maybe she doesn't want something so innate. She wants something a little better. So here, take this job. I mean, it's gonna produce lots of these things, so why not do it anyway? So then you work for 30 years to save up your best, to buy her the granite so that she can wear on her chest or her finger or her leg or hanging around her neck. But it has no actual purpose because it doesn't do anything but set, and it sits and it rusts and it has to be cleaned and refurbished, but it never actually said anything, and you didn't do half the work for it. You just did something else to acquire this, because this is what was in between you and the one you wanted, because this is the shining thing. The moral of the story, because I've been running kind of long, is that I think a long time ago somebody got something wrong, and as soon as they said dreams aren't worth it, then they took that dream from me. I forgot I was worth more. Worth way more than the money. Hope you liked the video. Comment down below, subscribe over here, and don't let the fact that this was a super long video about dollar bills, y'all, get you down, because the dawn always rises on a new day. That thing would be the credit stuff. Hot damn, that was long. I'm sorry. This whole video was like straight up off the cuff. I didn't write anything. I'm gonna cut out like some of the really long pauses, but I don't know. I was thinking about it the other day, and I thought I'd share it with you guys. Whoever's watching, maybe you'll like it. But besides this was my wisdom for the week that I learned. Is just I just learned that I don't appreciate money. I like doing stuff. I like working with people. I like helping my mom out, but I just don't like the grip that it has over people. But I don't know. So all of the manga are all over here. They're all gonna pop up in random succession. It's been a while since a Wisdom Wednesday's been done. I'm actually gonna try to cut the last 2 Wisdom Wednesdays up into another video and kind of post them up too, and that'll be like the Wisdom recap. Brandon from the past. But I hope you like this video. I don't know. It was just something that was like beating out of my chest today, so I felt like I wanted to put it on something. And even though it's not on the page, it will be forever immortalized in the internet. Thank you.